Hi everyone. How's everything with you? How's everyone? Okay. We're gonna wait a few minutes, just a couple of minutes, until everyone joins, and then we're going to start our live session for today. A very interesting topic that we're going to talk about. Okay. Okay, the topic today is going to be presented in English, and it's about step up for breastfeeding. So since you all know, this is the International or World Breastfeeding Week, and the logo or the main topic we're talking about is how to step up as a community, join together for breastfeeding. So we're gonna discuss the objectives about it, how we can support each other, and how can we do that for mothers and babies. راح يكون بالإنجليزي إن شاء الله. It will be in English. Okay. Okay. بالنسبة بس بجاوب السؤال، احنا راح يكون عندنا اصلا ورش باللغة العربية، وراح يكون عندنا مستمرين لنهاية اسبوع الرضاعة اللي هو تاريخ 7. عندنا أنشطة وفعاليات. So you can all join us until the end of this week. We have a lot of activities and a lot of workshops online or lectures that we're providing both in Arabic and English language, so all can benefit from it. Okay, now today's lecture is dedicated for English speakers, and anyone who can join us, you're most welcome. Okay, welcome everyone again. Allah يعافيكي. Okay, thank you all for joining us. I think we can start by talking about how important this week is for everyone, for each and every healthcare provider that cares for mothers, for babies, for families, for expecting mothers, for mothers who are breastfeeding at the moment, for the community in general. Breastfeeding is the major component that holds the family together from the beginning. It's the bond between mother and child. Now, our logo for this year is Step Up for Breastfeeding. So what can we do to inform people about their role in strengthening the warm chain? What is the warm chain? It's to support breastfeeding. Who are the members in this warm chain that can support breastfeeding? Now, how can we anchor breastfeeding as part of good nutrition, for food security and reduction of inequalities? How can we engage together as community and individuals, organizations to support breastfeeding? And how can we galvanize those actions into strengthening the systems to support mothers who are breastfeeding and to do transformational change in the breastfeeding society? Now, there are many challenges that needs to be addressed when talking about breastfeeding, and how do we step up for it? First, the antenatal care. During pregnancy or before birth, most mothers usually just go to their gynecologist. They don't get to be referred to a lactation consultant or even a counselor or someone who can talk to them about what to expect when they deliver the baby. How would they deal with breastfeeding? What are the issues that might face them? And then what is the importance of breastfeeding, especially the first few days, especially the first hour, as well as it's called the first golden hour. Labor and delivery, what's going to happen, what is the effect of, for example, having a natural, normal delivery or having a selected C-section. In case the mother was preparing for a natural, normal delivery and then she had to go for an emergency C-section, I mean, what would she do in that case? Also, postnatal care in the first 6 weeks after birth. Postpartum is considered for most as the fourth trimester of pregnancy. What is the care that needs to be given to the mother and the baby to support the breastfeeding for continuous journey? Also, ongoing care, we're going to talk about that with the support by family, the husband, rest of the friends in the community, and if there are special circumstances and emergencies that needs intervention. Now, during antenatal care, we really strongly advise mothers to seek the knowledge or visit a childbirth educator, for example, a lactation consultant, to bring awareness or to educate herself about what is she going to expect during her pregnancy, what are the changes that might happen to her anatomy, to her breast during pregnancy, what is she going to expect in the first hours after the delivery, how would she learn to get the proper latch or the proper positioning for breastfeeding a child during the first few days. Whether she had a C-section or whether she had a natural or normal delivery, if she had any medical interventions like IV, or for example, if she had an epidural or any interventions that were needed or necessary during that time. So challenges that are happening is that we have competing priorities for education. So some would consider this as a competitive field, and also antenatal staff are often insufficiently trained for the task, so they would just help the mother with telling her about maybe the baby's age during gestational age, or whether she's going to have a natural or C-section, just general information about pregnancy, and they lack the commitment to provide this continuous care for the mothers. Now, how do we improve that? We raise awareness of importance of breastfeeding preparation, and we integrate breastfeeding with each antenatal visit. So we use available technology, for example, practical demonstrations, use of aids, and we train oral antenatal healthcare staff. Also, we introduce parents antenatally to the community networks. For example, if there are support groups, mother support groups, parents classes where they can actually attend and understand more about the challenges and the care. Now, talking about the labor or delivery after birth, what happens? Mother-friendly care should include a quiet and comfortable environment for the mother and the baby, freedom to move around while she's delivering or after delivery, to eat, to drink, minimal medication or medical intervention unless it's really needed, and immediate skin-to-skin contact at early once the baby is born, and which helps in initiation of early breastfeeding. Now, what most mothers realize, which happened to many mothers I know, including myself, is that we think that once the baby has been born and they take, of course, the baby for a couple of hours until the mother is settled in her room, then they give her the baby. During that time, most of those things, most of the hospitals would give supplemental formula, thinking that the mother cannot breastfeed at the moment, or it's just they don't mind the policies that have been made to protect the baby and the mother. Now, we should educate the mother on how important it is for her to insist on having initiating direct breastfeeding the moment the baby is delivered. Now, the challenges that we face: maternity services often lack mother-friendly care policies, and there is poor implementation of baby-friendly hospital-initiated policy. It's all around the world. This is happening not just in our societies. And there's shortage of midwives and nurses and lack of adequate training for them. Now, we can improve that by advocating for policy, investing in implementation of mother-baby friendly hospitals and care with maternal facilities. We have to integrate mother-friendly and BFHI into maternal newborn wards and quality of care standards. And we have to ensure that healthcare providers have competency to implement mother-friendly care and immediate skin-to-skin contact. I hope I'm not going too fast. Is everything clear? Okay, so now after the baby is born, the mother is already maybe at home with the baby, and they leave the delivery room. Maybe they go for the postpartum care, or after she's discharged, she's usually going in the second day to her house. So she's alone with her baby, and she might be a first-time mother, on the hormones, or maybe she had a traumatic delivery, things weren't going as well as she expected, or even if it went let's say easy for her and the baby, is just something very emotional and very burdening for her as a mother to feel for the first time. So challenges that happen during the postnatal period is that we also might not have enough staff trained for that to support us, or maybe we do have staff that is trained, but we have shortage of staff in the maternity ward, and they might not even spend enough time with the mother to show her what exactly and hear from her what are her concerns and what is she worried about. Mothers may be left without the skills they require for breastfeeding, or without even follow-up post delivery within the first 6 weeks of delivery. Now, the thing is that during those first 6 weeks, it is very critical that we initiate a healthy breastfeeding relationship, because if she's a mother for the first time and she hasn't had a successful breastfeeding journey, this would impact actually her ability to breastfeed any further children she has in the future, or even her self-confidence towards her body, her motherly instinct, and her ability to be there for her baby. Now, as healthcare providers, it is our responsibility to care for the mother, to support, to implement and educate with the skills. Now, understanding those critical times in the maternal ward, and due to some shortage of staff or even untrained staff that are on the ward, that is why it's very important to educate the mothers antenatally, not just the mother and the father. Attend classes, use dolls to pretend that you're breastfeeding, use any aids to help you. Understand your body, understand what it is like, going to be when you have the baby or when you're going to breastfeed. Importance of emptying the breast continuously after delivery. Cluster breastfeeding, continuous breastfeeding on demand. What are the feeding cues for the baby during the first a month or two? How do I know my baby has got enough milk? Those are questions that every mother has, and she might not even realize that she needs the answers for those questions until it's too late and she already had the baby. So being there for the mother from as early as her second trimester to educate her about breastfeeding, it's very important. Okay, now talking about ongoing care, we said that there might be some lack of support from, for example, the father or the extended family and the community. Mother would lose motivation. If there are other interventions, like telling her, the mother, well, your baby's not having enough, your milk is not enough for your baby, or you should supplement with formula. Even healthcare providers sometimes tell the mother that, well, your baby's not gaining weight enough, you should supplement. Instead of that, healthcare providers should refer this mother to a lactation consultant to understand the underlying causes of this poor weight gain, for example. Is there low milk supply? If there is low milk supply, what is the reason? Is the baby not latching properly? Is the baby not able to suck at the breast properly? Is the mother having some complications? Is she taking any kind of medication that would block the milk flow? those are very important notes that not just the healthcare providers need to know, mothers need to know. You should be advocating for yourself as a mother. It is my right, my baby's right to breastfeed and to be able to get the support that the community should provide for us. So you should understand what is happening to your body, what are the challenges that might face you, and what are the solutions, and who are the people that you can turn to get the help that you need. Now, for example, mothers may not be having adequate maternity or leave. Some mothers go to work as early as 45 days, and that's really not enough. Some mothers take it up to 3 months. Some mothers are stay-at-home moms. They have the time, they don't go to work, but it's even difficult for them because of many other complications that happen in their life. Now, also the lack of practical knowledge and awareness among healthcare providers and the community in general that we spoke about, it holds a great challenge for the mothers who are breastfeeding their children. Now, how do we improve that? We advocate and we try to improve the health and the community services. We include fathers and family members, and we have them understand what is it like and how important it is for this mother to breastfeed her baby. We can refer families to breastfeeding counselors, peer support groups, and family support groups as well. We can ensure that the counselors and support groups are trained enough and well trained in the matters of breastfeeding, and they give exact information. And when they are faced with a challenge or a problem that needs a healthcare professional intervention, like a lactation consultant, they have to refer to the lactation consultant to be able to help the mother. Now, advocating or normalizing breastfeeding and breastfeeding friendly environments is very important. I'll give you examples here around in the UAE. We have all around malls, shopping areas, parks, even like anywhere you go, you have breastfeeding rooms. You have the acceptance of the community that you can actually breastfeed and cover. That's why we have in the Breastfeeding Friends Society the breastfeeding covers that we give to the mothers in case they cannot find somewhere private to breastfeed. Well, the baby is hungry and you have to breastfeed, so you just use the cover and breastfeed. So also this takes us to the point that having the proper aids to help you to continue your breastfeeding journey is very important. Now, there are special circumstances and emergencies that happen. For example, if the mother got ill, for instance, or she had a surgery or she's sick, God forbid, there is no milk provided directly from the baby to the mother, from the mother to the baby. So the first option is always donor human breast milk. This is in accordance from the families together. If they have someone like a sister or the aunt of the baby and they consent for her to give her breast milk to the baby, this is a much better option. Please note that in Islamic culture that we have to note that this baby has breastfed from another woman, so we don't go into future problems. Now, talking about staff and how do we improve the support during emergencies, for example, we have to orient and train relative staff. We have to develop a contact list of available people skilled in breastfeeding counseling. We have to prepare plans and support breastfeeding and in case artificial feeding is to be given, and management of vulnerable children. Now, we have to develop plans of prevention and management, and how can we find donations, donating human milk for those babies and within the families. Now, we can improve this by also practicing kangaroo or skin-to-skin method with the babies, whether the mother or someone else can do it from the family. And we can encourage the relactation after the mother as well. So in case the mother hasn't been able to breastfeed, so we can start with her relactation as soon as she is able to. Okay, so talking about, again, healthcare actors or healthcare providers, we have breastfeeding counselors, the community healthcare workers, obstetricians, midwives, nurses, nutritionists, dietitians, also doulas, family doctors, pediatricians, and we have certified lactation consultants as well. So, and the policymakers and healthcare systems, those all should work together to support the breastfeeding of mothers. It should be done with consistent and appropriate evidence-based education. They should have pre-service education and regular in-service training for them, and training programs that help create sustainable programs for the breastfeeding of the mothers. Also, we can have the roles of the community actors, which are like, for example, people of the community, family members, young people, fathers, brothers, sisters, friends, anyone around us, even the media. It can support breastfeeding mothers by sending out the right messages and supporting them and normalizing breastfeeding. Okay, so we said let's just talk about or conclude the points that we've spoken about. So we have to prepare for breastfeeding. Parents need to be educated about pregnancy, breastfeeding, and get counseling both from healthcare and the community. And now we can have the healthcare community working together to ensure that parents receive the correct message. And we have to initiate breastfeeding as soon as the baby is born, within the first hour. Make sure the baby gets skin-to-skin contact, lots of skin-to-skin contact, not just immediately after birth. Continuous skin-to-skin contact, feeding on demand, helping the mother with the proper skills, making sure she does not leave the hospital after delivery unless she is fully equipped with the skills that she needs and she's feeling confident enough about breastfeeding. Also, following up with mothers with ongoing care during the first 6 weeks is very important. Now, also establish a communication system with the mothers, making sure, for example, they attend a postnatal, when they come for their postnatal checkup, they would pass by the lactation consultant and they would check how's she doing, if there are any concerns, if she has any problems, to be able to support her with the proper guidance. Now, to maintain breastfeeding, parents need counseling, and they might also need numbers for contact numbers for people who can support them or provide the services that they need. Also, you have to educate the mothers who are going back to work on what are the strategies that they need to follow. If there is a plan that they need to do, will the mother be able to go for a breastfeeding break during her working hours, or would she be able to pump milk and store it for the baby? How is the baby going to be given this milk? Who is going to care for the baby? Those are very important, really important actually, points that we need to care about. And we ask that we actually raise our voice to all the organizations and companies who have, of course, women among us working. Please support the mothers by providing places where they can actually express their breast milk and store it while they're at work, to be able to provide breastfeeding, breast milk for their babies and continue with their breastfeeding journey. Now, this is all. Just remember, to protect breastfeeding, we all need to contribute, and we have to be away and free from any commercial influence of breast milk substitutes and feeding bottle manufacturers and distributors. Skin-to-skin direct breastfeeding is the key. Get the support, get educated, get the power to be able to advocate for yourself and your baby. This is what Step Up to Breastfeeding means. This is what we want as a global target, to reduce a lot of health risks and health complications in the future. Now, governments and decision makers need to invest in education and support breastfeeding to create and enable environment for families with babies. I hope this was not a very dense presentation for all of you, and I just want all the mothers to know that being in the UAE, we're very lucky to have support groups, to have breastfeeding counselors and peer counselors to support mothers and babies throughout their breastfeeding journey, to have facilities that provide breastfeeding rooms for the families, and just know that you're supported, and we need you to step up for breastfeeding and continue the journey for at least the first 6 months up to 2 years. Now, if you have any questions, we'll be sending them. There's also a survey link. Let me try to post it here as well. I would really appreciate if you could, I don't know, I hope you can actually go to the link. Is it possible to actually join the link or access the link from here? If someone can try, I'd really appreciate you doing the survey to inform us about any other topics that you would like to know about, and to help us build a stronger community to support breastfeeding. Now, this live feed is going to be present on the page. Okay, let me try and put it in. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, we can't seem to access the link. Okay, I will post the link in the caption for the video after I download it now. And okay, you can access the link. Now, this presentation was in English. We have many presentations in Arabic, and we're still having many more presentations to come during this week. If anyone has any questions about breastfeeding, I can answer you right now. Okay, there seems to be no questions at the moment. Okay, thank you all for joining us. فاطمة، إذا عندك سؤال في خص الرضاعة، بس إحنا لنا البرزنتيشن بالإنجليزي، إذا حد عنده سؤال ممكن نجاوب بالعربي، ما في مشكلة. Okay. Thank you all for joining us. It was great having you all. Don't forget to share the video with your friends so you can spread the word and support and step up for breastfeeding. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being there. See you in later live feeds, and don't forget to step up for breastfeeding. Bye bye.